Hi everyone. It's Tuesday night. I want to say hello to everyone. Um, Still able to get the fireplace. It's not too warm out that I can justify having it. It's a nice night, but I wanted to talk to you a little bit more about what it takes to be humble, to be at somebody's feet, um, or to have somebody at your feet. And it can put you in a more humble place than I think most of us realize. But before we get started, I do want to just say a quick prayer for us, that God will touch this time. Dear Lord, I just appreciate the day you've given me, the day you've given all of us. And dear Lord, I just pray that while we do humble ourselves and put ourselves at your feet, that you will touch us and bless us. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, so last time I talked to you about how Jesus washed his disciples' feet and that he put himself into the position of a servant, so he could kind of get them ready for what was to go on. He was preparing them. He was getting rid of all the old dirt on their feet, getting rid of their old lives, and getting them ready to set out. And appropriately, Jesus remembered that Jesus put himself in the position of servant by washing their feet. This is something that usually was done by servants, and it's often discussed that how he's teaching, them to be humble servants to the people they're going to be talking to. And I agree with that, but I also see it as the disciples were put in very much a humble position as they were having to accept somebody getting ready to tell them just what their lives were going to be and what they were to do, and saying, yeah, I'm your humble servant to help you, but you're going to have to be humble to let me wash your feet. I don't know about you, but me and a whole lot of people I know have precious few other people that we want messing with our feet. Babies, toddlers, little kids, it's, play with their feet. None of us have a problem with that. But as we get older, life takes a wear and tear on our feet. We just don't really want a lot of people messing with our feet. We like to keep them hidden a little bit more. It's humble to have somebody get down, especially somebody that's a peer or above you, to get down and start washing your feet. The first thing is to do what Peter did, is like, no, get up. Don't, I'm supposed to be doing this to you. You just caught me not being humble, and I need to fix it, and I need to fix it now. And Jesus was saying, no, I've got to fix things for you and with you, and only can do it if you're willing to humble yourself and learn and listen. This isn't the first time something like this happens in the Bible. One of my favorite stories that's kind of related to this is actually when David already killed Goliath. He was already a musician for King Saul, because King Saul had a spirit that was sent to kind of torment him. And one of the only things that could really calm him was when David came and played his harp for him. But King Saul got very, very jealous of David because, as I'd said before, King Saul had already been told that his family line had come to an end of having a king on the throne, that because he didn't listen, he wasn't humble, he wasn't trusting, his family got kicked out and a new one was coming in. But Saul was still king, but he was after David. David was an adult and he had to run away. He had a whole group of men that were with him, and at this point, David and his men had been camping out in the outside of the field of Nabal. And Nabal was this landowner, but the, the name Nabal means fool. And he lived down to his name. And Abigail will even address this. Um, but I'm looking in 1 Samuel chapter 25, then goes through the whole thing. So basically, like I said, David and his men had been out protecting the land owned by Nabal and protecting his men while they were harvesting. And so when the end of the harvest came, David fully expected that when Nabal was having the end of the harvest party, that they would be thanked by by getting at least a meal from Nabal for having kept everybody safe and haven't did not bothering them, not taking anything. That they're like, okay, yeah, we've done all this for you now. A little thanks I think would go a long way. Um, Nabal didn't feel the need to give thanks, so David was over it. He was just over it, and he was ready and plotting that he was going to run in and he was going to take Nabal down once and for all. And fortunately, one of Nabal's servants heard this and ran to Abigail, who was Nabal's wife. And she was much smarter than Nabal. And she knew that she needed to protect not only their land and their people, but she needed to protect David from himself. So she basically got a feast together. And it was quite the feast. 200 loaves of bread, 2 skins of wine, 5 dressed sheeps, 5 seahs of roasted grain, 100 cakes of raisins, 200 cakes of pressed figs, loaded them on donkeys. She told her servants, go on ahead, I'll follow you. But she did not tell her husband Nabal. She kind of knew who she was dealing with on both sides, and she just took like the best path to be able to keep everybody, relaxed. But also, the thing I love about this is, Abigail, in those times, ancient Israel times, women weren't very honored to most people. They were often used, and probably at this point, they were used as trade agreement objects. So she was Nabal's wife. She was just there, but she was a lot smarter than he ever could have dreamed. So she decides to go out. Like I said, she's about to save David from his own sins, because she knew David was going to take them all out because one of the servants got away and told her. And so she rides out to David. When Abigail saw David, she quickly got off her donkey and bowed down before David, her face to the ground. She fell at his feet and said, pardon your servant, my lord, and let me speak to you. Hear what your servant has to say. Please pay no attention to my lord, that wicked man Nabal. He is just like his name. His name means fool, and folly goes with him. And as for me, your servant, I did not see the men my lord sent. And now, my lord, as surely as the Lord your God lives, and as you live, since the Lord has kept you from bloodshed and from avenging yourself with your own hands, may your enemies and all who are intent on harming my lord be like Nabal. And let this gift which your servant has brought to my lord be given to the men who follow you. Please forgive your servant's presumption. The Lord your God will certainly make a lasting dynasty for my lord, because you fight the Lord's battles, and no wrongdoing will be found in you as long as you live. Even when someone is pursuing you to take your life, the life of my lord will be bound securely in the bundle of the living by the Lord your God. But the lives of your enemies he will hurl away as from a pocket of a sling. So yeah, she took the humble servant's position, the smart, humble servant's position, and she got down on the ground. She put herself at his feet, because she knew he could turn on her just because, she's just Nabal's wife. But she knew what needed to be done. She knew that David deserved to be thanked. And I've seen that she has been noted as a prophetess, and she was able to speak words over him of what his future was and something to live up to. So she put herself at his feet. Fortunately, David was humble enough to understand that, yeah, if this lady was willing to put her life on the line and come out to him and try to help him, that maybe the path that she was setting out for him was the path that he needed to follow. Not one from his gut, not one from his heart that said, I need to avenge. I don't deserve to be treated like this. She helped him, and he helped her. He listened, and later not too much later, she became one of his wives, and he took her. Now, my thought, she was early on, and she didn't become one of the primary wives, but she was a wife. And, I don't know how much fun it was living in a harem back then, but she was taken care of probably a lot better and living in a more secure area than she would have been with Nabal. Definitely more secure than she would have been if she hadn't decided, you know what, I've got a good plan. I'm not going to throw in his face, but I got a plan. And then he followed it. He knew that somebody who's willing to put themselves down was somebody to listen to. So all of us at different times, me for sure, have times where, yeah, somebody will tell me what to do and I just want to roll my eyes. I want to go, you don't understand, or I like it this way. The stronger person really is the one who can say, you know what, and we've got to say hi again, is willing to get down there and listen. So humble yourself by being the one that is the first one to bow down, or humble yourself by being the one who will listen. Appreciate you all. And by the way, it is my cat's birthday today. They are turning 12 years old, and yeah, they're a fun bunch of guys that keep me company. But thank you so much for listening, and I do want to leave you with a blessing. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord lift up his face and be gracious to you. May the Lord lift up his countenance and give you peace. And again, just let me know if you need a Bible, and I'd be more than happy to send you one. Leave a note. I'd be real interested to see where everybody lives that has been listening to this. So just hit a like, and let me know what you think. Thanks. Bye.